Okay, I figured I have to tape this because I don't think any of you guys would believe me if I just responded to it. So I'll play it. It's only 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So here it goes.
Well, enough about these code enforcement people from San Luis. I don't know. Things will happen. It'll work out. Besides that, the spiritual journey is more important than anything that they can do. It overshadows everything within my life anyway. And I know that the end result is going to be good. Uh, and the way I go about it, and I'd like to explain a little bit about Catharism here, is that it's all based upon the temple.
Now he says Catharism. I'm not sure if he's meaning. There was about 7 different groups that called themselves Cathars that had no relation to each other. He might be. I think he's referring to the Albigensians, but let's proceed.
Of Solomon, and there are two books in the New Testament you can primarily go to for what you want to find out about it. One is the book of Hebrews, and the other is the Revelation. The Revelation, part of it, reads sort of like a college catalog. It describes the grades and what you have to go through. The first 7 letters to the 7 churches of Asia are the first 7 grades. The 7th level, the 7th grade, is the highest you can attain as an individual. The level of the crown chakra, the level of thrones, as far as levels of awareness and consciousness go. And the next level up is the level of the cherubim. It takes 2 for that. 2 with a joint commitment to a single purpose and to each other. The whole story is laid down going back very anciently. Why were the veils of the temple rent at the time of the crucifixion? That was to end the bill of divorce.
I said crown chakra. That's Hinduism that'll factor in a moment. But I'm not sure if he's saying bells or veils. There's only one veil in the temple, so I, again, I'll just let him speak and then I'll address it. I'm not trying to be hard on this guy at all. I hope that comes across that I'm not. That's not my uh, goal here.
Set by Moses, the rending of the 7 veils of the temple.
Veils, okay.
That was the bill of divorcement that separated man from his risen or high estate, where he's joined from female, male and female, in perfect balance, perfect union. And because of the hardness of their hearts and the way they treated the women or something like that, it didn't happen until the pathway was restored or reinstituted by the Messiah and the Magdalene. Magdalene being the female half of the Messiah. But she doesn't get as much press. Wonder why. I think some male chauvinism took over in the early days of the church. But then that's just an opinion on that.
Okay, just a few thoughts on here. Um, a man is to leave his mother and cling to his wife, and divorce is only allowed because of the hardness of man's heart. Uh, it was actually never in God's plan. I think that's what he was quoting. As for the Magdalene and Christ, and I guess I'll send this to him. I've been studying and researching early church history for about 20 years now. The Gnostic writings, the Marcionite writings, various sects, Apollinarianism. Uh, but the Magdalene, um, Mary Magdalene, uh, I would like to ask Mr. Ansari where he, because Mary Magdalene gets mentioned in Thomas, but she can only be saved if she's turned into a man. Gnosticism believes in sexual androgyny, and as everybody knows, the Gnostics believe that the physical world is evil, created by an either evil or ignorant God. That sex is the worst thing. It's a carnal act that causes physical pleasure, and the outcome would be a birth of a child, which is pulling one of the pre-existent souls out of the pleroma and entombing it in this flesh body. But does he mean the Sophia and the Logos? Possibly, but the Sophia and the Logos. Now, I've read the manuscript that we have of what's called the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, the apocryphal Gospel of Philip, and the sayings of Thomas. But I'd like to ask this man, how does this factor into the Cathars? Which Cathars do you mean, by the way? Do you mean the ones that starved themselves to death, and in the Languedoc region of France? Because those would be the ones that believed that the physical world was evil, and that salvation wasn't for everybody. That you had to be a celibate older man who attained secret knowledge. But that would be my question to him. He talks about the Magdalene and Christ, but maybe he meant to say Sophia, because sexual androgyny, as I'm sure he knows, is what is to be attained, or the abandonment of the world, which is why the Cathars starved themselves to death, to escape this, because the physical world was ugly and evil, created by a terrible God, and that we will not have any gender or sex in the next life. I have many questions for this man, but there it is. Peace to you.